What's up? It's the Deck Talking Devil. Hadn't made a video in quite some time, and I think this is maybe only the second video that I've done from inside of my home. Of course, I'm down in the basement, my little getaway space. This is where it all goes down. Where I usually do my studying, my research, try to do some deep thinking, a little sleeping, a little eating, whatever. But this is where it happens. So today I thought I'd shed some light on some resources that I suggest for science. Now, I know science isn't everyone's cup of tea, but based on some of the conversations that I've had with individuals, especially those who are of the religious persuasion, scientific understanding is lacking, and it really hinders our ability to engage at any depth because of this barrier of ignorance that I have to cross with them when it comes to science. Now, a lot of people have a lot of derogatory things to say about science, and they take this conspiracy theorist approach to science and the scientific method, and they think that somehow science has been or is being used and has always been used to manipulate the masses and suppress information. Things like the spacewalk, the moonwalk, all of that stuff was fake. Things like the earth is actually flat. Things of this nature. When we don't really have a good foundation in science, it's easy to fall prey to some things. So this is no knock on anybody who holds some of these opinions. Some people think that, I know to some of us it may seem odd, but there are some people who still think that the earth is in the center and the sun actually goes around the earth. But hey, that's their right to believe that, and what we must do is try to arm everyone we can with as much education as possible. And so all I want to do here, I'm not going into some deep scientific concepts of string theory, or particle entanglement, or spooky action at a distance. I just want to show some sources or resources that I think would be helpful if you were like me and needed to get touched up, enhance your scientific knowledge. So here we go. Hopefully you can see that. The magic. Yeah. So this one's by Richard Dawkins, and it's The Magic of Reality. Richard Dawkins is, probably one of the foremost biologists of our time. Really well-respected scientist in his own right. And this book talks about a lot of different aspects. Hopefully you guys can see that. But it talks about a lot of different aspects of reality that is amazing. Things that at one point we thought we'd never understand, which have been brought to light based off of science and scientific exploration. He goes into a lot of things, like maybe like the Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, tsunamis, what called tsunamis, a bunch of different stuff that if prehistoric man were to see these things happening, they would fabricate some kind of supernatural, mythical lore to explain it, where now we have science to be able to explain exactly how it happens. Really good book, easy to read, not overly complicated at all. He did a great job at, I don't want to say dumbing it down, but at kind of diluting it so that it's easier to digest. All right, here's another one. One of my favorites here. Into the Jungle by Sean Carroll. Okay. In this one, he doesn't necessarily go through all of the science behind evolution as much as he kind of tells the story of the people who embarked on that into that area of science first. Some of the more well-known people. So we know about Darwin, but do you know about the ones who preceded Darwin, the ones who even outshined Darwin? Really good book when it comes to the subject of evolution. And please, some of you guys who watch this or may click on this and you're Christian, please read a book on evolution, will you? That's not written by a Christian. It hurts me sometimes up here. You know, it really hurts me. I think I strain a nerve. I think I've had 9 aneurysms dealing with Christians on the subject of evolution. Please stop saying that evolution teaches that we come from monkeys, because it absolutely does not. Please never ask anyone, if humans evolved from monkeys, then why are there monkeys? Like, please never ask that question again. Get a book on evolution, please, and do yourself and me. If you care anything about me, please do this for me. I don't ask much, but please read a book on evolution that is not written by a Christian. Please. Any book. Here's another one. Steve Hawking. You know, this book I think is pretty close to being called a classic piece of literature. Yeah, you know, Brief History of Time, I think is kind of what put Hawking on the map for as far as a household name. In the scientific community, I would say that he had already been there, you know, and people already knew who he was. But as far as household names, I think this book did a lot to kind of put him over that hump. You know, a lot of times, not just due to his physical condition, but a lot of times when you're pretty advanced intellectually, you struggle to connect with the average guy. All right, so I think this book did a lot, but this, again, is physicist, who I highly recommend you read his work. My man here, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. This book is the Space Chronicles, and I think that it's a very good read. Again, it's a lot of science stuff in here, but he doesn't just deal directly with science. He doesn't get too technical. He actually goes through, you know, how the government plays a role and funding for science, and how the U.S. is faring compared to other nations when it comes to science education, and how much it costs to send things into space and all of this stuff. So really good book, Space Chronicles. Recommend it. Now, if you're kind of into some of the more fringe stuff, I forgot to grab this book, but it's a book called The Electric Universe by Wallace Thornhill. That's one for you if you kind of already got a good scientific foundation and you're able to handle something that's more on the fringe of scientific community. Wallace Thornhill and the Electric Universe, I think, present some interesting findings, but they're not conclusive by far, and they're not the consensus by far in the scientific community. A lot of people still smirk and chuckle when you say the Electric Universe theory, and think that it's laughable, but who didn't the scientific community laugh at? I mean, Aristotle, Copernicus, I mean, come on. That's kind of their thing. Here's one, again, kind of outside of the mainstream science, but still pretty interesting concepts that were given in this book, Space and Counter Space. And it helped to kind of, Nick Thomas, I think is the guy. Yeah, Nick Thomas, the guy who wrote this. It helped to kind of present a different way of looking at things that we've always kind of had a set or static way of looking at, such as gravity, time, space-time continuum, things of that nature. Really interesting book. Now, this one here. I had to give some for the conspiracy theorist people, okay? Because I know there's a lot of them out there, and every now and then they drift over to my channel. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, guys. I hear you, and I think some of the theories are definitely interesting, but I don't spend a lot of time on it. And if you're a conspiracy theorist, I got a book for you. Oh, where is it? Maybe I'll have to pull it out another time because I don't seem to see it here. Yeah. So I don't see it, but next time I'll find it and we'll talk about it. But the book is called Behold the Pale Horse. All right. And if you read that book, let me know. Definitely love to hear from you. You guys will get to know me. I hate not being able to find the book, so bear with me. Yeah. See? This takes a little time. This book right here. So, if you're a conspiracy theorist, there you go. Behold a Pale Horse. Okay? I don't know if that's easy for you to see. It's by Bill Cooper, or William Cooper. Called him Bill. But in here he talked about, silent weapons for quiet wars. There's a whole chapter on that in here. He went pretty deep. Let's just see if you guys can see some of it there. Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. He went pretty deep on a lot of stuff. So dealing with the Constitution and treason, the secret government. Here, probably one of my favorite chapters to read. Coup de Grace. Chapter 11. And again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. He talks about aliens and stuff, a lot of blacked out classified documents, things of that nature. Good book. If you're a conspiracy theorist, you may want to read this one. And even if you're not, you want to see what the conspiracies are, check it out. Pretty good read. Here's another one by Eric Dollop. Guys, this guy worked for what are they called? Old TV, RCA, back in the day. All right, and he worked for the Navy. I think he was repairing naval ships and communication devices and stuff like that on naval ships back in the day as well. Some of the scientific breakthroughs that this guy's had when it comes to electricity are mind-blowing. Look him up. Pretty eccentric character, different. I got nothing against eccentric at all. But this guy put some information out that kind of had your head spinning. And he was like one of them guys who was kind of always, don't talk too loud because they listening. One of them types. But he, according to him, he had reason. He had been approached by some conspicuous individuals who tried to intimidate him to stop doing his research and things of this nature. He had been sabotaged several times. So he has his reasons for being a bit paranoid. But pretty good book right here. I would ask you to look the guy up on YouTube. Eric Dollard. Look him up on YouTube and watch some of his lectures. I've watched some of his lectures that were like 3 hours. Listen to him. Everybody don't have a stomach for it because he does kind of get, it's kind of boring at first because he goes into the history of electricity and stuff. And that's kind of, you got to have a stomach for it. I love it because I like history as it is. So I love it. Didn't bother me at all. But then he kind of gets deep into the electrical jargon and technical terms and stuff like this. And but the guy was on to something. When you get to looking into Eric Dollard, 9 times out of 10, you're going to come across what they call a Rodin coil. Roden, if I'm not mistaken. Rodin coil. COIL coil. Another book that's kind of like out there on the fringes of science. My point here is not to debase or degrade anybody or to diminish your intellectual status at all. What I want to do is just kind of introduce some resources, because when you stepping into a field that's kind of like outside of your normal stomping ground, sometimes it can make you uncomfortable because you don't know where you should go, right? So instead of just going out there feeling your way around in the dark, trying to figure out, well, what should I read as far as science is concerned, I just wanted to give you some of the books that I go to for science, some of the authors, and this is by no means all of them. You guys can see here, I got quite a lot of books. It's a bunch of stuff, and if you can see, down there, you know, it's diagnostic microbiology, several books on that, anatomy, biochemistry. This is the making and shaping of and treating of steel. You know, I got books in there with old remedies and stuff like that too for making food. And here we go, some more stuff down here. This book right here, yeah, see that? Gravitation. That's another one. So I got, you know, I got quite a few books on science, and this isn't even all of them. I got so many boxes of books over here that it's not even funny. Because I believe in investing in knowledge. And so this is one area where I really spare no expense when it comes to information and things that I think I need to know. I'm willing to go out and buy the material to learn those subjects, at least enough to have an intelligent conversation about it. I don't claim to be an expert in anything except maybe religion. And you can kind of judge that for yourself. You know, I was in religion for 30-some years, pastoring, minister, evangelist, youth pastor, youth director, assistant, adjutant. Yeah, it's everything you can name. And then I also studied systematic theology as well, you know. And this pretty much this whole book case over here is religious books, as you can see. Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic, Akkadian. That's the Akkadian lexicon, Interlinear Bible, King James 1611, Septuagint, Biblia Hebraica, Stuttgartensia, people just call BHS, Codex Sinaiticus, Codex Alexandrinus, Josephus, Philo, the Quranic geography, the Tehillim. I didn't make that H wet enough. When you speak in Hebrew, you gotta have a wet throat because this stuff you gotta do a lot of. So, but I got a lot of stuff. Dead Sea Scrolls. It's a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff up there. So, you know, I know this video is a little unorthodox. It's kind of not really all over the place, but I'm moving around quite a bit. And that may be distracting to some people, and I get it. I kind of have my pet peeves, too, when I'm watching different videos. So hopefully this didn't bother you guys too much. And by the way, War Eagle. Just throw that in there. In Jesus' name. Just want to throw that in there for the people. But hopefully you guys got something out of this. You know, look into some of the books that I recommended, and you know, hopefully some of this information you're able to get your hands on and study and ask some different questions, because I think a lot of times we're asking the wrong questions. So when you get a bit more education about a subject, you learn what questions you should be asking, and that helps you facilitate more enriching conversation. So, hey, it's been a minute, I know, but I'm back. So I wanted to do that little ditty there and give you guys that information. So if you hadn't already subscribed to this channel, like, dude, what the fuck? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications so the next time there'll be a new video, you'll be the first to know. Share this video, like as well. Pound that like button. I mean, just punch the shit out of it. Think of it as Jesus and just stab the motherfucker. So, that's it.